Welcome to Tea with Tori. I'm your host, Tori, and today the tea is hot.
What's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Tea with Tori. I'm your host, Tori, and today I have a very special guest. I have Koala here with me.
Hi.
Please tell the people who you are and what you do.
My name is Koala Puffs, and I pretty much smoke weed on the internet. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Literally. And I feel like there's a lot of people that smoke weed on the internet, but you've definitely turned it into more of a business than just like being a stoner.
Yeah, I feel like social media is, it could be used in a lot of different ways. People could use it, just to connect with friends or take it to a business kind of type of situation. That's kind of what I've done. I enjoyed bonding with people, and I enjoyed kind of feeling like I have friends when I started social media. But in every content, you need to use whatever it is that you are creating content about. In beauty, you need beauty products, and fashion, you need new fashion. You can't just do the same thing over and over. Mm-hmm. Same thing in the cannabis industry. So it's been nice to been able to provide the pieceware that people can smoke out of and use for content or just for personal pleasure, and it's seeing it come back on social media, which is how I started with my product. So it's just kind of cool to do that and to see it happen right now.
So when did your mind kind of warp from like, I'm going to smoke weed on the internet to like, I'm going to turn this into more of a business and less of something that I just like wake up and do?
To be honest with you, like it just happened, because it went from me posting online because I was just lonely and I wanted, I really thought
community.
Yeah, but I thought it would only reach like a few people. I didn't think, honestly, it was just like, oh, maybe I'll make like 2 or 3 friends. And then when I started creating the content, I started needing new items to switch it up, and companies started reaching out if I could feature the items in my content, since I do it anyway, if it could be their product. And I did it a couple of times, and I would get like messages like, wow, we sold so many products off of this. And at the end of the day, I'd be like, it started getting to the point where companies started demanding me to have content by a certain time. And then I'd be like, whoa, I'm not even getting paid for this. And
Literally.
I'm getting pressured that, can you re-edit this, refilm this? Like, this is for fun. So I hit them with the same energy that they hit me with. If you're going to treat me like I am just here to create professional content for you, like I thought this was just for fun, then I would like to get paid for it, And that's kind of like, that's kind of something that I did. And I definitely got some hatred in the beginning for it, that, oh, you're only in this for the money. And that definitely wasn't the case. It was just like, I need to switch up the content anyway, the products that I use. And if I know that I'm going to bring attention to a certain item that's featured, might as well make it a win-win situation. And so that's kind of when the business with my brand Koala Puffs kind of began, because I would come up with a skit and I'd be like, okay, I want to feature an edible brand. So I would reach out to edible brands that I enjoy and be like, do you guys want to do this? Or if edible brands reached out to me, I would try all of theirs and be like, okay, I like this one. Can we run this skit with this one? So it was really nice, because it's not like I'm forced to create content with things that don't relate to me. Like if someone gave me a lawnmower and was like, can you sell this for us? I'd be like, what the fuck? How? No, I don't know. How do you even turn it on? Does it come with a husband that works it? Like,
Literally.
I don't know how to do this.
Someone explain this to me.
But, when companies are like, bongs and stuff, I'm like, I definitely would like to. Yes, I can 100% show people how this works. And when it's a good product, and I don't know if you know how much you've experienced with the cannabis censorship, but you can't really advertise anywhere. So it becomes like you help me out, I help you out. I provide you items for your content. I provide you an income to cover your bills, so that you don't have to go to work. You can focus on making me my content. And in return, you provide me the sales so that I can have more money coming in to buy more inventory to keep this going.
Yeah.
And basically what we're trying to create years from now is the Walmart of the cannabis industry, the Target of the cannabis industry, the Starbucks of the cannabis industry. And they all start with small brands that needed people to believe in them and purchase their product and leave good reviews and talk about it, so that it did blow up, because it can't just happen,
Literally.
So I'm excited for it.
I am too. That sounds really exciting. Are there any products that you specifically make yourself, or are you doing more of like sourcing?
Kind of a few different things. So a lot of my brand is honestly me. Like the content that I create is me. When I do events, I hang out with everybody that shows up. Like it's a time hang out with me. But also like, what would I like to experience? Mm-hmm. So part of my brand, part of the companies that I own is cannabis events. So I travel the world putting together cannabis events to show kind of everybody that we don't even have issues like people do at a bar. So why can't it be normalized like
Seriously,
bars?
though.
There are streets by colleges, by downtowns everywhere that are packed with bars, and you could go from one to another to another to another to another. Why can't that be something that happens with consumption lounges and more dispensaries? I know dispensaries are already everywhere, but there are not a lot of places where you can actually consume and meet other people that like to consume. Because let me tell you this, you're not going to come up at somebody that's buying weed at a dispensary and be like, hey,
you want to go smoke somewhere?
you smoke? No, I'm buying this for someone else. Literally. But at a consumption lounge, just like at a bar, it's much more just like if you were to come up to someone at a liquor store and be like, you're going to smoke that? You're going to drink that? They'd be like, yeah, me, myself.
Yeah. I'm going somewhere right now.
Yeah, not with you though.
Like the intent when you're buying is not to socialize. So it makes sense that like, I've always said that, and I've always put it like paired up. Like I wish like I could go to a restaurant. There's like the one, what was that, Low Cafe?
It shut down. I hope it reopens because that was my favorite place to go.
That's my favorite thing to do is like smoke, then eat, then smoke right after, and like not have a drive home or a drive there in between. Like I want to be high while I eat my meal because it's just better. So. Yeah. I would love that if there was at least like, I feel like the first integration is going to start with like bars being allowed to serve cannabis as well.
I'm waiting for that. And that's kind of like my idea. I don't know if I'm making enough of an impact, but I'm definitely proving to myself how cannabis events are even more fun, honestly, than alcohol parties because everyone's is just in their right state of mind. They remember what's going on the next day. You're finding other people, meeting other people that like exactly what you like. And it's so easy to spark a conversation. Oh, you like dabs? Oh, you like sativa or indica? Oh, how much do you really smoke? Boom, like you're done. Flirting
and you're with
so
like-minded people instead of like being someone that smokes, being out with your friends that drink, being like, take a shot.
Literally. You're like, I'll throw up on you.
I literally say to them, I'm like, you hit my blunt once and I'll take a shot.
Yeah.
And they're always like, no, I'd fall asleep. I'm like, this is not going to be fun for me. Stop. Exactly. Stop pressuring me. This is not going to have the same effect as me. I'm going to be fucked up and you're going to be laughing at me.
That's how I feel. Like I can do like beer and wine and light alcohol, like mixed drinks. But one of my girlfriends, she can smoke so much and drink Jameson like it's nothing. And I'm like, are you human? How do you, how,
I'm like, is she British or Australian or something?
She's Irish.
There you go. I'm like, there's no way. She needs one of those countries that they just slam it back.
She is Irish. Yeah, she's great. Shout out to Kate.
Shout out, Kate. You can throw it back and smoke a ton.
Yeah, no, I can't. But I know that I can't, so I don't try to. Like I'm not, there's some people that will try to smoke with me, and I don't know why I feel the necessity to smoke as much as I do.
I know.
Like, don't. It's cool.
I feel like you're also wasting my weed when you do that. Well, because you don't need to be that high. Like, now I can't even talk to you. Why would you do that to yourself? I need it this much.
I can't talk to you thing. It's more like smoke my weed, but like I'm not trying to babysit anybody. If you can't, like I know I can't drink, so I don't go around taking shots.
Exactly.
If you know you can't handle weed, smoke it at home, get used to it, and then come out and smoke in public. I've had some friends I've literally had to like babysit over like one puff.
Oh my God.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
Oh no, 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 no. That's literally the worst.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When did you start smoking?
So, like really smoking, I started like 8 years ago. And it's funny because I started creating content as I started smoking.
No way.
And like maybe like a year after, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like,
You're like, why not?
Yeah. So I started posting things like, look at me smoking out of a bong rip. And then everything that I learned, it kind of helped because then I had content to post and I was able to learn things and share it with people because you can't really Google a lot of things about cannabis. Mm-mm. How to roll a blunt. Maybe things come up now, but I started this 7 years ago. No.
Like, not at all. Nothing was even legalized or medicinal, really.
I think Colorado and Washington were, and that's about it. Yeah, California.
Literally. So no one is like posting it on the internet for people to find out that they're doing illegal things all the time.
There were people creating content for sure, but there are way more accounts nowadays than there were like 7 years ago when I started creating content. And it's so amazing to see because I didn't know this community existed. When I came across one account, then you find another one and another one and another one. You know how it is with any niche, you know. But it's not like I ever knew that there was a cannabis community on Instagram. So the more people creating content and the more people and their friends and family, they create awareness about that, the more a community will be like, you know, talked about, and maybe it has an opportunity to grow and thrive a little bit more, because right now we're censored a lot and it's really hard for us to break out of the shell because mainstream doesn't fuck with us really.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest thing about like cannabis and any type of what like I consider like earth drugs. Like it grows from the earth and you use it. There's no chemical process. There's no like person in charge of it. There's nothing that's going to kill you. Like you don't really hear of people dying of these drugs. You have like weed, shrooms, anything that falls under those categories. Yeah. So the fact that you can be prescribed pharmaceuticals or you can go drink and potentially like, if you don't want people to drink and drive, why would you have a parking lot next to the bar? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Like things
I've
like
never
that.
had
Like,
someone ask me that.
You know what I mean? Like, if there's very clear things that like, why are these things even allowed to happen? Hold on, this is hot as fucking balls.
Yeah, but I like it because I'm usually the person that's always cold. So like having my AC on, and I don't know. There's times I even like run my fireplace.
What?
Yeah, but
I mean, in the winter, like
during the summer. Yeah, I'll like blast the AC and then I'll be like chilling with the fireplace.
With the fireplace on and the AC.
I don't know what's
You're
wrong
an
with
interesting person.
Yeah, that's one word to use.
No, that's what I call it.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo, man.
I feel like if you're not weird though, like what the fuck are you doing?
I think we're all weird. It's just how much do we choose to show that side to other people? Because I got a message. This was literally at the beginning of me starting to create content, maybe like the first year, and I still remember it. And this girl messaged that like she never even shared with her significant other that she smoked weed.
How? It's so potent, the smell.
How
did you do this?
I don't know, right? Like,
tell me. What did you use? Was it Ozium? Like, I need to know.
And she was like, you know, it feels if you can post about it online and let all these people judge you online everywhere, like I can do it with this guy that I'm dating. And it stuck with me. And I think about it to this day because it's just kind of like how many people aren't themselves, don't feel comfortable to be themselves. And I can feel that because from day to day, I'm sure you also receive DMs from people that try to shut down who you are, even though it doesn't interfere with what they're doing with whatsoever, and it never will. So I don't understand why the necessity to shut down one's dream is like a desire for people.
I don't get that, and I don't get hate watching. Like, if you don't like something,
unfollow.
There's so much content. There's so much, like, your phone is under your control.
Yeah.
And you going on whatever page you want to go on is under your control.
Yeah.
So why are you looking at shit that makes you want to, like, comment negative things on it?
I don't know. I mean, I'll admit every once in a while I'll pull up my ex and I'm like, what are you doing? And I'll like watch a little bit. I'll
stalking
creep.
Your ex. That's completely different.
But I'm never like out here leaving comments
on a stranger's post to say that you're mad about what they are or what they think or what they feel. Like, why?
Makes no sense to me. You know, I tried to refer it back to a time. So when I was 16 through 19, I lived in Chicago, and I lived in a household that was just like very not mentally good household. I think we've all lived in that kind of living situation at one point or another. Mm-hmm. I lived with my mom and her husband, my stepdad, and I was the underdog of the household. So I couldn't really talk back. I couldn't really defend myself. Even if I felt like I was right. And so I had this built up anger and frustration about not being heard, not being seen, not being able to express myself. And there are moments that I would act out with my friends and my boyfriend because I'd just be in a shitty mood. I'd feel like, you know, it's bubbling up inside.
It's got to go somewhere.
And so I understand why people do it. I just don't get the way to like why to other strangers online who are also probably hurting and dealing with something.
That's my thing is like everyone's been through some type of thing in their life that has been negative, that was out of their control, that puts them in some type of place where they either can choose positive or negative. And for you to choose positive or negative is completely up to you. But my issue lies in when people choose negative and then they like to spread it and they like to wallow in it and they want you to be negative now too. And everything that they now do and say and think and any advice that they give you is all now negative. That to me is like letting your trauma bleed out onto other people that are already trying to deal with the trauma that they're trying to deal with. So like that's the most fucked up thing you can do because you know that what trauma is like because you've been through it and that's why you're like that.
I think a lot of people don't understand. Like there's definitely moments that I've been like, why did I just react like that? Why do I feel this way? Why? I don't really feel like I care. Why am I feeling like I care? You know? I feel like a lot of us are just trying to figure it out. But the problem is none of us give each other the opportunity to just like figure it out or learn something new. Everybody's just looking, I feel like, to blame, especially lately. There's a lot of frustration in this world. There's a lot of really bad things happening. And I understand you got to put it somewhere. But like, damn, like I understand it up here, but in my heart, it just doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah. I feel like that's because you can either numb or you can like choose to look at the situation and like really actually make it make sense to yourself. And you've like done the work of like, this is probably someone that's going through this and blah, blah, blah. And it's the people that are just like, they could never put themselves in that perspective or in those shoes of like, how do you think this person got here where they're even capable of doing these things? Yeah. So it's like, I always say never judge someone on what they have to do for survival because you never know what you would do unless you're in that exact situation. Yeah. Because there's been situations that things have happened to me that I've like seen in movies or like people have told me, I'm like, what do you mean you froze? And like, then I'm in the situation and I freeze.
Like I froze.
I froze. Like what? Like a deer in the headlights. Yeah. So it's like you never can judge someone for how they got out of a situation where they really believe that they may die. Yeah. Or that their life was over or they really had nothing to live for. Yeah. Nothing left. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so for plant-based medicine is because if you're going to go plant-based for your food and you're already talking about like all the negative things that get put into food, then you really have to start looking at all the negative things that are put into medicine.
And alcohol.
And alcohol. Like alcohol is a huge one and I don't understand how it's so common and legalized and like you can go stop by the grocery store and grab a bottle of wine on the way to the dinner party and like that's your gift. Like I want to show up with like bring me a quarter, like bring me a half an ounce, bro. Like I'd much prefer that than like a bottle of wine. Like people are like, oh, this is the most expensive bottle of wine, this is a 15,000 bottle. I'm like, can you get me like a joint that's like $15,000 because of like the oils that's infused into it and the gold flakes and like whatever's happening? Like that is, I want to normalize like cannabis as a gift where you would bring alcohol.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have my own predictions about all this. I'm a huge conspiracy theorist. And it recently only happened because, so I went through a situation where a bunch of people had lied about me and I now don't believe anything on the internet ever. Like I'm just like, that was done for views. Mm-hmm. That was done for publicity. That was done for more subscribers. I don't believe shit. Like the whole Will Smith slap, I don't believe that. At all. There's so many things I just don't believe anymore. Mm-hmm. And so my whole conspiracy theory is like whoever's in charge of this whole thing made things like alcohol legal to slow us down, to make it, because when I smoke cannabis I realize all these things, especially when I eat mushrooms, I realize all these things.
The world's a lie.
Literally. So the conspiracy theorist in me is like, this is all done on purpose, and we're all just like starting to talk about it because I think of social media platforms making it so much easier for all of us to connect to each other and discuss similar topics. Because before, like if you mention something to a group of friends, a lot of the time, all of your friends might not feel the same way that you feel. And then you feel crazy when the reality is there are so many people outside of this that feel the same way that you do. So yeah, conspiracy theories, man, that shit, I've been on that for the last like 2 years, I would say.
I feel like Jeffrey Epstein, that whole Netflix,
I don't believe anything.
That whole thing came out and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck is real anymore? Because this is not someone that like in society would ever think would be doing these things. And now I'm like, everyone in this society is doing these things.
There's a really cute dog. You always have to pause whatever you're doing to acknowledge a really cute
You
dog.
do. He likes to show up. Sometimes there was one episode where he wasn't just confident in being on my lap. He wanted to be on the table.
Oh.
He was being snazzy. He was showing off a bit.
Well, I mean, he's really cute, so I get it.
He's fucking adorable. I love my dog. But I feel like we're kind of coming into this age now that's very much like the 70s, where it was like the 60s was very like straight laced. Like everyone was talking about families and jobs. And then the 70s people were like, wait,
whatever,
hold on,
man.
like enjoy life. Like, what is this war? Like freaking out. But at this time, like Hollywood and the government and everyone had control of mainstream media, so they could make it the hippies. They're not doing anything. Your kids are just going to like waste away. They're running around naked in the woods and listening to music, like all these things. This sounds like a great ass time to me. Like I wish someone would have invited me to this if I was alive in the 70s. But I think with social media now, people can see there's no like scare tactics. There's no like, this is your brain on drugs, like dare campaigns, because you're like, wait,
because then they see Koala pups taking gram dabs and like, look, her brain's fine.
Literally. And she's doing all these things, and look at all these people that smoke weed and do shrooms.
They're
and
alive.
Do all these
and
things.
Well.
And they're alive. They're
thriving.
well. They're thriving. And honestly, like mental health
on
the prime, versus like so many people that I know are on so many prescription medical things. And I'm just like,
and they still don't feel good. That's
exactly.
The messed up part is, I'm okay with whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better if you're not harming somebody else. Because the thing is, like, this is a tough world. And I swear, maybe it's just me, but when I was growing up, I didn't think it was going to be like this. I know we're experiencing a lot of new things that obviously couldn't have been like fully predicted. COVID, like shutdowns.
Living through major events in history.
Yeah, I'm seeing, because I'm Ukrainian born and raised. I'm literally seeing my home country get bombed. When I miss the days 5 years ago when people would be like, where are you from? I'd be like, from Ukraine. I'd be like, where is that? I miss those days. I'd rather have that than my country being fucking on fire right now.
Yeah.
And we're living through all of this. So if what you need is whatever, if you need to drink. If you're not going and stabbing people after you drink, that's fine. You want to smoke. You want to eat a little fucking stem in a head thing and just chew it and go like that because it tastes like shit. Like, do it, I don't understand the necessity to
control people. That has nothing to do with like your own being.
There's so much going on in this world. Just let us do what we need to do to get through it,
And I feel like that's the issue, is that the control barrier is kind of being busted. Like people are kind of tired of being controlled. Yeah. And like I was watching a comedian, a stand-up actually, and he was like, I mean, COVID's like done, right? And the audience like didn't really laugh. He's like, I mean, like we all kind of collectively like decided not to give a fuck. Like none of y'all are wearing masks. Yeah. So like I guess it's done. And I literally cracked up because I was like, that is true. Like the world kind of decided like we're over this. Yeah. And then like kind of everything else had to catch up, because there were so many arguments and so many things of just like people like, where is the sense? Where is like, make this make sense? How do we get solution for this? Because
that's how I feel about everything. Like, why do we go to school? Make it make sense why I'm leaving school and I don't know how to do my taxes. Literally. I just bought a house last year. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. And I don't have a dad, and I don't really have a mom that bought a house. I don't really have siblings at all. So I had nobody to ask these questions. Literally. And I really sat there and I was angry. I remember smoking a blunt. I'm like, why the fuck didn't I learn this in school? Why am I leaving? Go be prepared for life. Really? With what? To know what fucking pie is?
And what's in a rock?
Like, oh, come on. Teach me, like, how do I prepare?
Build credit.
How do I build credit? How do I get a house? How do I pay taxes? How do I save money? How do I invest money? How do I create a prenup so I don't get taken advantage of? How do I do all these things? How do I self-love? Can we get a school of that? Whatever that is. And I don't want to learn that. I learned all these things in my 20s to I'm about to be 28. Nah, I would have loved to be prepared for life and learned that from in that school. Bullshit that they taught me from teach me my letters and my numbers. Cool, necessity. I get that. And then what the fuck happens? What happens after that? There's so much useless information. Plug that with useful information. Let me choose what I want to learn about. Because then they send you off to college and they're like, so what do you want to do? And they're like, bro, I don't know. I was in survival mode this whole time.
Dude, I've always said that, like, America is so weird in the way that they're like, from 0 to 17, you're too young to know what you want to do. You have absolutely no idea.
And then
listen to everyone else. And then you hit 18 and everyone's like, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Go to school for 4 years and only focus on that.
And don't make a mistake.
Nope. Don't choose something else after a year of hating this thing.
Because then you'll have debt and regrets.
Don't pick something your family doesn't want you to do.
Like, stop with the pressure. We all don't know what the fuck we're doing. None of us know. Let me tell you. None of us know.
I think it's the most alarming thing to realize your parents don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No, because if they did, I wouldn't be so fucking traumatized. Hello? Where the heck do you think my traumas come from? Fucking preschool? No.
That's just made it worse.
Yeah,
school just made it worse.
Addition. They're like, oh, you don't have a good home life. Boom.
You watch it in school.
Let me bully you
all the time.
Yeah.
You watch it in movies all the time.
I
TV
hate it
shows.
here. Can we go? I hate it here.
But that's why I feel like there should be a school where you learn good behavior and you learn that bullying is wrong. And like you actually get graded on that stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of it, so I was thinking about this the other day. We all come from such different backgrounds. So a lot of the time, so I get prejudged that I'm Californian born and raised, especially that my parents have money because I own a house and I drive a Tesla. So obviously my parents bought that for me. And it's just like, nobody understands that, like, being even Ukrainian born and raised, how different my culture was growing up and how much that shapes you as a human being as you're put in. So take away my Ukrainian being born and raised. Now put in a toxic living environment, an environment where you don't feel, again, heard and seen, where you feel maybe you get abused, maybe you don't have access to food or water for whatever reason. Like, no one takes that into consideration and thinks about it. I saw on TikTok the other day, somebody was like, nobody gives a fuck if you have traumas. And I'm like, that is, yeah, and it sucks. And maybe we should. But it's because no one talks about it. There's so many friendships where I would start talking about, like, things that messed me up in my childhood, like, so that they would understand why certain things hurt me more than, like, then maybe to you this isn't a big deal, but to me this is why it hurts me, because that one time. But it's like it goes over so many people's heads because they don't even want to learn that about you. And that's the toughest thing, is like, and not everybody's brought into the same environment. We're not all the same. Not everybody's brought into an environment where mom and dad are married and you have dinners together and they explain to you what right and wrong is, or how to, function with fucking being anxious, or how to deal with your money, or how to choose a career or a hobby even. Literally. Or how to fit in, whatever, any of it. I feel like I grew up and I'm like 28 and I'm like, I don't even, how do
do anything?
How do I change this thing on my sink? Like,
I started learning about cars recently just because I grew up in Manhattan. So I never had a car. My parents had a car, but I didn't take care of it. It was my parents' car. And then my boyfriend came home and he was like, what is blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
I don't even know. Where is that? In the front or in the back?
What that light means. He's like, you need to do blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
can you
where do I do that? Yeah. Do I go to a place for that? Or do I buy something to do it with? Or which, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm the
House
same way.
things. I grew up in an apartment until I lived in literally this house. So the landlord was like, oh, you can't put, you're not supposed to put boxes on the curb. Like, you're supposed to break them down and put them in the recycling, trash bin.
What?
I was like,
but in my apartment complex, I just put the box right there, and then boof, it was taken away.
It was gone.
My mom and dad didn't tell me I had to cut up the boxes. And it seems so simple, and to somebody listening to this, it's like, are you kidding me?
Literally.
But it is really things like that just I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because not all of us are privileged with the same start to this life. And throughout life, and obviously towards the end of life. But I feel like all of us say that, but I feel like a lot of us don't really grasp it and really give each other the chance to learn new things and learn about each other. I don't know. The world's fucked up, man.
The world's super fucked up, and I feel like in a lot of ways people don't really want to take the time to get to know people because they've already made up their mind that I hate people.
Yeah.
Or every time I let someone in, this happens. So they kind of put that wall up.
But it do be like that.
No, for real. But I've just I've done both sides of it. I've done okay, I'm gonna keep my walls super high up and not let anyone in, and that was just as unhappy as being open. So what I've gotten way better at is just being open, being the genuine friend that I'm gonna be to someone, and if that energy is not matched, then I'll pull back. But I'm not just going to like go about the world pulled back on my energy or pulled back on, like, I'm the type of person that I don't care if I just met you. If I get good energy from you and you call me at 3 a.m. and like you need to vent, like if I'm awake, I'm there. Like I'll do that shit. But it doesn't matter to me the longevity of how long we've known each other, because I've had falling out with people that I've known for a long time. I've had falling out with people that I've just met in one day. Yeah. So to me, it's just the energy that you're bringing. And if you're matching my energy and we're meshing, then I'm going to give you that type of commitment as a friend or whatever, a business partner, whatever it is. Like I like to come in how I am. And then if that's not reciprocated, match energy.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you attract what you are and what you're putting out.
God, why do I keep attracting dumbass men? Like, what energy am I putting on?
I mean, I'm not going to say daddy issues, but that's usually where it stems from.
Probably. Shit. Yeah, we're learning.
What are these trash men? How are they trash?
No, it's not that. To be honest with you, I've been going through such a process for the last few years of focusing on myself, where like before my desire was to fill my time with a man. I won't even lie. Like, to feel good about myself, it would be to date a really good looking guy that tells me that I look really good or treats me real good or whatever, or to just not be alone. Because if you're alone, you're failing, you're doing something, because that's just like mostly what my grandma would say. Yeah, because nobody wants to be with you. Why are you alone? And at the end of the day, some people don't realize, bitch, I don't want to be with nobody. I enjoy the peace that I've created amongst this environment that I'm in. And like, unless you come in, like you said, with good matched energy and, nah. So, it's not really, I think I'm just like not putting out the energy out there that I'm really looking for somebody right now in that type of way. They're focusing on me.
That'll 100% happen. And then I feel like it's kind of like this push and pull where once you put that boundary up of like, I'm not tolerating any energy in my life that like is not beneficial to me, then things start getting thrown at you in your weaknesses. Like, oh, like she gets kind of weak when like it comes to being alone. So let's throw her like a terrible companion and see if she's going to keep her boundaries up enough to like stay away from this person, or if she needs to learn this lesson again. So I feel like you just keep getting tested. And then if you pass the test, you go on to the next level and you get tested again. Or you have to learn that.
That's definitely, I'm at the point of my life where I never used to be like, I literally think I shifted like 2 years ago into this like whole person that literally believes everything is a lesson now and everything is going to like come back around and everything is worth like paying attention to. And, it's just crazy. Or just like, or on the other hand, like paying attention to how you feel about people, and maybe before feeling the desire to spend time with them regardless, so that you don't feel like you're just being judgmental. But now I'm trusting my gut more and being like, this doesn't make me feel good. I'm just going to go back home. Like,
one of the huge things that like my mom has always said to me that like stuck out and I take into everything is worry less about if the other person talking likes you and more about if you like them. Yeah. Because we kind of live in a society where like you're like structured to be people pleasing, especially women. Like please like me. Like that's kind of like the energy that is very put on for everything, especially if someone has something that you aspire to have or you look up to them in any way, like please like me. And my mom was just always like, don't think about if they like you. If they like you, that's great. But think about if you like them. Yeah. Because you standing there selling yourself and why this person should like you, you're not even getting to know who they are and if it's someone that you should be giving all that energy to already.
Those are some wise words, Mama.
Right? My mom's a life coach. She did good. So that's how I was raised.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Different upbringings.
Yeah, no, but that's like what I think is so healthy for us to all talk about. But I think, the previous generation, at least like with me, we don't come really from people that talk about their feelings. Mm-hmm. My best friend literally, so her main thing when she is about to cry is she's going to look at you and she'll be like, I'm going to go take a really long shower. Because she was brought up to not talk about her feelings. Oh, you're going to go cry in the shower. That's what you do. If you have something to let out, you go cry in the shower, not in front of people. And so you grow up doing that, and a lot of us turn it into humor and something that's hilarious, but at the end of the day, you're like, bitch, I'm traumatized.
I'm really going to go cry in the shower.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
So I feel like it's nice to see that, at least with like people in my life right now, like they're all very open and like discussing and talking about things, like especially like how they receive love, how they give love, which is like, I mean, is so important in just like any friendship, any partnership in any type of way. Which is something I've never even heard about.
Love languages.
And I recently learned about hate languages, which is like how you fight. Because a lot of people, they love in one type of way, but they also fight in a type of way. I'm a communicator. So little about me. So both of my parents left me when I was a kid. Okay. And I grew up with like my grandma and my godmother. And so but the way that both of my parents left was neither one of them explained to me that they were leaving and going to come back. They just one day disappeared. So my brain works in the way that if we're fighting and you walk out the door, you're not coming back. Maybe to you is like, I just need a breather, but unless that's communicated with me, I hear you and I understand you, but my heart doesn't process that yet unless you show me, over and over, yes, every time I leave, see, I come back, like, this is how I deal with things, and then we work with the problem. Yeah. And this is something I just recently learned about, because I've never even heard that being talked about. Like, obviously, that's a thing. 100%. Is the way that we communicate when we're angry, but I've never heard that
I didn't know that it was broken down like that, like love languages in that way. I need to do the test. Yeah. Because I'm the type of person, like, my parents always said, whenever you like feel heated emotions, like walk away, take a minute, because you never want to say something that you can't take back. And anything said in the heat of the moment is usually something that's not going to be pleasantly taken by the other person or productive for anyone. So it's not even that like I need to like leave and be out of your sight. Like I can't talk about this right now because I don't know what I'm going to say. And my emotions are high, and sometimes I say things that I know I don't mean because I've had the thoughts in my head and been so happy that they never came out of my mouth type thing. So I know like that filter is kind of gone when you're really angry or you're really sad. Like the filter of shit you're not supposed to say comes out of your mouth. So I would just rather like take a breath and then come back and not say any of that.
So I guess, I don't know, maybe something's messed up with me, but like I'm the type of person, so like I would rather you just tell me, because if these thoughts are coming back to your mind, then it's how you feel deep down, and how I will feel about you telling me that shouldn't impact that.
Or it's my trauma.
Or maybe, but I feel like what it is for me, it's like, well, it'll help me get to know you better. And I guess the biggest thing is then I feel included. If you're willing to share a side of yourself with me that's not the best version of you, I feel like that's somebody putting their trust in me. I don't want the best version of you, okay? I want you, like, in general, like, oh, I want you. I want whatever friendship, whatever relation. Yeah, like, whatever. You're having a shit day, you're in a shitty mood. Like, I've had some friends that would, like, never want to hang out with anybody when they're in a really shitty mood. And I understand that that's how sometimes people are. And I asked one time, like, why? And my friend's response was like, I don't want to fuck up your mood. But I'm like, but I want to cheer you up. I don't want you to just like, and we're so different. We're such different people. And every time that I talk a little bit more with a friend about like how different we are, it just helps us understand a little more.
100%.
Like. Yeah. Cause I don't think anybody or not a lot of people would sit here and be like, tell me the things that are going to hurt my feelings, No. But I'm just kind of like, if this is what you need to let out, so that thought doesn't, like, I never, especially when we're fighting, I know that it doesn't have very much to do with me, but like, let it out, feel better, feel the light afterwards. When people are attacking me on social media or like DMing me mean things, I know it has nothing to do with me. Literally. You're not in my life. You're not in my shoes. Unless you're the fly on the wall that's been bugging me for the last few days, you just don't know. You'll never know. So, so I feel like I don't know, but I'm weird, man. I'm fucking weird. And I know that. I've gotten to know that because every time I tried to have a friendship or a relationship and I'm like, this is how I am, they're like, are you okay?
Well, I feel like there's also a level of emotional maturity that needs to come with it, to know that like you're communicating with someone that's actually saying how they feel and not saying things just to hurt you or saying things that are trauma responses. So that's kind of why I take a beat, because I like to decipher, like, am I trying to say this to hurt your feelings because I'm mad about something you did? Am I trying to say this because my last relationship, this is how it went, and I'm standing up for myself super hard here in a situation that I don't really need to, because that's not the situation that I'm in right now. I'm having a trauma response. Or is this something that really needs to be addressed?
But do you not think that even just the other person overhearing that thought process would be helpful for them and for you to just grow?
Oh yeah, I explain why I disappear. Oh, yeah. I'm like, I don't even know how I'm feeling right now. Yeah. So I don't want to say something that's going to be not how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Like, I'd rather just... I know exactly how I feel, and I know exactly where it stems from. So that's why I'm like, let's discuss it 100%. If they're open to it, you know? Well, now I do the if you're open to it thing. Before, when I'd be dating, I'm like, we're talking about this right now, you know?
Literally. That's how I am with honesty. Yeah. Like, if you ask me something, you're not asking for the sugar-coated version of what you want me to tell you.
Don't ask questions you don't want to know answers to.
Don't ask me unless you want to know. Yeah. Because I'll tell you. And I haven't said anything, but if you're asking me, you need to sit down and get a glass of water because it's going to be a minute. Like,
wait, I'm drinking water right now. I just literally didn't think you were going to. Hold up. You want to tell me something?
No, not you.
Okay. I was like, wait, my water is here. I think a hint is being thrown.
I'm like the one where if you are like in a bad relationship or in a job you don't like or you need to move, I'm the one you ask when you need like the kick in the ass because I will be that friend to be like, I don't care if you hate me right now,
but get the fuck out of that relationship.
Fuck out of that relationship. Get the fuck out of that town. Sell that car. Leave that man. I don't care what the fuck is happening in your life right now or how you have to recover from this. But if you're this unhappy, you need to
reset.
If you're asking me,
if it's come all the way to me,
if you went
it's time to end it.
All your friends and got to me for this information. This is the information you came for. You're welcome.
That's funny. That's what I say about myself. So I'm like the pushy person in a relationship. I'm the person that like, I will push you to be better. If you tell me like, yo, I don't want to be better. First of all, we're not going to be together. I want us to make each, and it doesn't have to be get a better job, get a better car, just a better way to handle things, a better way you communicate, a better way you eat to make yourself feel better.
Evolution.
Or better, whatever. Exactly. You know? And, fuck, how did the sentence start? See, now I just like did the stoner in me.
When you're with someone, you are someone that is a pushy person.
Yeah, so I'm just like a pushy person. And so my friends know when they come to me, if you're coming to me, like you need a kick in the butt. Same thing. Yeah. You need a push. You need me to tell you like, here, it is time to do that. Because my friends that are still in the point where they're still fucking with their ex and they want to be doing that, they don't tell me.
No.
Because when you tell me, I'm going to be like, oh,
it's done.
Let me pull out my whiteboard of pros and cons.
I'm the friend that you're like, I think I'm going to break up with someone. I'm like, are you sure? No, I'm like, are you sure? Because if you say you're sure, then all the things are coming out. And I'm going to put you on that path to really not want to fuck with this person anymore.
This is why I agree. I never liked his hairline. Check.
Literally. So, like, if you're going to get back together with this man or woman, please let me know because I'm going to go all off right now. But like, it's things that I know you need to hear. And there's just it's love goggles. When you love someone, there's certain concessions you make and like, no one's perfect.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about you need to get over someone or something, like I will highlight all the things that I know you're probably thinking and you're going to get over them.
It helps when you hear the other person say it. What you're thinking, because then you're like, oh man, it's validation.
People did see that. Yeah. Literally.
Oh fuck yeah, he was kind of a douche. Yeah.
Sometimes you like want to believe the best in people because you love them, and then like to know that that's not just something you're seeing because you're super close to them. It's something that other people, exterior people, are seeing. Then it's like, oh, yeah, maybe that's real.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's tough out here for a pimp, I tell you.
It's hard out here.
I seen you're in a relationship, so I'm very happy for you. You guys seem very happy together.
We were both single for so long. Neither of us was looking for anything. And that's why like it's the most cliche thing ever. But I'm just like, focus on yourself. Yeah. Literally focus on your bag. Focus on improving your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, all of it. And you'll attract someone that is doing the same thing. And you'll grow together or there'll be a blessing or a lesson. And luckily right now I have a blessing.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah. I'm still pimping.
You're straight pimping. I never even liked pimping. I'm literally the type that like I would be single and just like talking to someone here and there and like, oh, I don't like you next, like, oh, I don't like you next, and then like wind up in the longest relationship.
Yeah, I went through that a couple of times, and lately I just feel like I keep trying to talk to people, but I feel in my gut that the universe just doesn't need me to be with somebody right now. Right now is the time for me to like focus on my business and myself. You know, but we all have needs.
Literally, and that's what I started falling into is like, the more I get into spirituality and the more I get into, I'm taking a 200-hour yoga class and like learning about spirit, mind, body connection. I just am truly someone that believes that energy is an exchange and sexual energy is extremely powerful. So to exchange that with someone that you don't know that well or don't know their energy that well is low-key dangerous, because I've slept with people that I haven't felt their energy that greatly, and I was like, but you're hot, so let's do this, and I've just felt gross after, like not like
dick was whack.
Not even like it could be bomb, but still no I'm connection. Like I feel gross inside, because at the end of the day, like, women let things into their body.
Yeah.
And men, it's external, and that's just what it is. And I literally, that's like your sacred space. So yes, we have needs, but like I got so into, like, before my relationship, just like doing it myself, because
so that's what I've mastered.
I know what to do, and I get the job done, and then I'm fucking back to work.
And then you're like, I need 3 minutes. I know exactly where it's at. I don't even need to see anything. I know exactly where everything is.
My head is perfect.
You need 3 hours sometimes.
And a roadmap.
And a GPS coordinate.
A GPS, you need a firebender, you need Sacagawea letting you know where you're going.
Yeah, compass.
No,
you need a therapist there to walk you through it.
Dude, crazy things. I'm someone that, like, I love to smoke and have sex right after. That's like my favorite thing. And then smoke right after sex.
You
just gotta bookend it.
There you go.
Just smoke before and after everything, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I smoked before coming here. That's why I'm like that. I think that dab really hit me when I got here. I'm like, oh shit, I'm here.
Literally, you called. You're like, hey, I'm here, and I was like, I literally just smoked a joint and I need to put pants on.
You know why? Because I went from back and forth 3 times and I didn't see a door. I just saw a garage gate, or like, you know, the gate for it. Literally. And I was like, nah, there's no way this house doesn't have a door. You know, well, the gate.
Literally.
And so I walked back and forth again. I was like, no, this is another person's door.
Do you know how frustrating that is when it's not a car, it's just a person? Like, can we get a gate door? Like, it's so, I have
really
to open
wanted to
the
come knock on the
whole
door.
gate.
Yeah.
For people to come in. We've literally, like,
Where's
it's such a security
Why
thing.
Why is there no door?
I don't know. This is how it was when we moved in.
Everybody else got a door.
Everyone else has a door but us.
Damn.
I don't know.
Who is the architect that did that fence? It looks very modern. I enjoy, but I didn't know where to enter. So that's why I wasn't going to call you.
It's too modern.
I was like, well, I wasn't going to call you. You know, I was just like, I'm going to just knock on the... Because when people pull up to my house and they text me I'm here, I'm like... Ring the doorbell, knock on the door, like, you know. So I'm like, all right, but here I was like, oh no, I can't approach the doorbell.
No, that's why I literally give people my number to be like, text me when you're outside, because I literally have to open the gate for you. And my brother lives in the guest house with his girlfriend in the back, so they come back and forth with their dog. So we like to keep it closed, like, because that's a very busy street.
Yeah,
especially when they're here and like not traveling. So
yeah. Well, you were communicating with my team, so I didn't even know this whole. She just texted me. She was like, "There's street parking." And I'm like, "Sweet." She didn't say there's no door. Like, you know. So, oh my God. But it's cool. We're here. I'm here.
Literally. Yeah. I need to start saying there's no door.
I'm actually really like glad that we're talking about this, because part of me was like, did I just not see it? Because I really thought I was really stoned.
There's really no door.
I was like, hold up. Wait, what? It's like blended modern probably. Like,
I wish there was a door. I've actually brought this up numerous times. Like, we should have a door because, like...
You could pull pranks on people. You could say the door is voice activated and people could just be standing outside your gate like, door open. Or be like, bring a stick or a wand, so because you have to perform a Lingalium Leviosa spell to enter. Like, you know, like, you could switch it up. And then it just won't work, so they'll just be standing out there. I saw someone do this in an office space with a toaster. They put a label on it that said voice activated. And people were just standing in an office environment in the middle of a kitchen like, toast in! Toast my toast! Toast in! Give me my toast! Like, you know, it's obviously not voice active. I don't know. Just, you know, it could be fun. You could use it to your advantage for a really long time.
I want to get a Ring camera for the front for, like, motion detection to, like, let me know if there's ever someone in my property or on it. Like, if I get packages delivered, like, whatever, if someone steals them. And then if I have this thing where people think it's voice activated, I'll get it all on Ring.
You could literally start a TikTok account with
just with the videos.
Just that. Oh, I like it.
Voice activated to open gate.
I think there's something there.
Literally.
I think you should consider it.
I'm just going to start literally ambushing people and being like, oh, this is voice activated, by the way.
Yeah.
Your mic turns on voice activated.
Yeah. Just be like, you know, you have to clap 5 times in order for the water to start, or to flush the toilet or something. You'll be sitting in the kitchen just hearing people clap in the toilet. Oh my God. It's
like when you ask people with the motion sensor ones, like.
Yeah. Well, that's messed up. Like, I come up. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's the worst when you're high with the motion sensor shit because you're like, am I high or is this
It's just not working. That's how I feel with the hand sanitizers when they don't come out. I'm like, am I just sticking my hand in there the wrong way? Or like the blow in the hand dryer in the bathroom. You're like, what? Give me. I know.
I feel like it's always the soap. The soap is...
And then it poops out as you move your hand.
Or like squirts to the side. I'm like, cool.
Like, cool.
Cool. That's successful. That made sense. Doing normal functions while like really, really stoned always makes me feel like a kid though. Because I feel like I'm discovering certain things for the first time. Yeah. And I'm super not, but like I feel like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, isn't that like, I feel like living life like just happy as a kid is probably what it's all about. That's probably the point that we're all missing. We're all trying to grow up so fast when I think the goal is to stay feeling like a kid for as long as you can. That's what I'm trying to figure out, I think.
Can't let your youth die.
Yeah, man. But they'd be trying out here.
They'd be trying you. I feel like that's the whole purpose of school.
Yeah.
It's to like make you like be boxed in essentially.
Man. Back to the conspiracy theories
conspiracy theories you go.
My TikTok's been listening to me. It put me on fucking conspiracy theories TikTok. I'm like, this doesn't help me right now. Now I'm for sure confirmed that this is what's going on.
Literally. Yeah. But let's go to not a conspiracy theory.
Definitely not
the magic box.
What's
the
in the
magic
box?
Koala box.
So
tell us a little bit about this box.
This is so one of the other companies that I own. It's a Koality subscription box. Koality is kind of like my umbrella name for the company. And we switch up the boxes every month. So June is Pride Month. We did colorful colors. Everybody got different colors in like a lighter. There's a grinder. There's cones, lip balm, a bong, a fun bowl, a hammer pipe for Father's Day, a tin for your blunts.
The lip balm.
Yeah. And then a hemp wick so that we can be better at not inhaling butane. And a torch lighter that we actually discussed before this. So it's a money clip one. I enjoy it. Somebody messaged me the other day. Was like, do you really put your money in there? I'm like, fuck yeah. When I'm going out day drinking, that's my best friend. That's everything that I need.
So this is for Father's Day, and my dad smokes weed, so I'm going to have to give it to him for sure.
It's hammer time.
It's hammer time.
Yeah, I love those.
He's going to love that. He really is. I love this too. This is so cute.
So the reason why I got those is because I roll really fat blunts. And the reason why I do that is because I feel like when the weed to nicotine ratio is off, it makes me lightheaded. Yeah. So I put the whole eighth into a blunt wrap. And so my blunts are always really thick. And every time that I've ever received like a joint container, my blunts can't actually fit in there because they're like 3 times the size. So those little containers, like 2 fat ass blunts can fit for me. And I just take them with me. And then I even use it as an ashtray because then you could just close it in and keeps the funk in.
Smart.
Yeah. So I've been loving that thing.
I love that. I have a little ashtray in my car. Everyone gets in there like, is that an ashtray?
Yeah,
like, yeah, it is.
It's for my gum.
You want to roll a blunt?
Yeah.
That's what I'm like, you want to smoke?
I used to smoke blunts a lot more, but I was really like, and it's always hard when you have friends that like to smoke blunts too, because you guys are just encouraging each other to be bad together.
Yep.
And for a while, it's fine. But like, I feel like with nicotine, sooner or later, you just got to be like, this just isn't good for me, And so I've reached that moment a while ago. So I went from like smoking several blunts a day, and now I'll have one like every couple of weeks maybe.
Oh, I need to get there.
And it feels better, but it's because the dabs. So we were talking about dabs earlier.
But do you feel like your blunts are less effective for getting you high because of your dabs? No? Okay.
No, I feel like now the blunt hits me because I never consume nicotine anymore. So when it does come in that little blunt,
really
I'm like, whoa. I don't know. I didn't know the words, so I gave you
blast
sounds.
Off.
Yeah.
You blast off for
I don't
sure.
know. It's nice. Weed is beautiful.
I love weed.
And it's also great because I feel like, to be honest with you, the most productive I am through the day has been when I started consuming cannabis versus before I started smoking weed.
Oh, hell yeah.
And for me, my mind moves very fast. So I feel like when I smoke, it just helps me focus on one thing at a time and not be like all over the place as much.
There's definitely a balance. I call it like a working stone.
Mm-hmm. And I enjoy that. And so I don't know, it's nice to be able to live a life where I can consume through the day and get work done and still feel like going to bed. I'm like, yeah, I crushed it today. You know, you relate.
I just feel like even in like corporate jobs and stuff, like if you can get a 15-minute smoke break, like you should be able to get a 15-minute smoke break.
Well, let me tell you this. Why is like happy hour okay? At like literally Wall Street, they'll be like, yeah, we deal with all this
Happy
money.
hour,
Let's go fucking get these drinks and stuff. But if you come back smelling like weed, you're like,
Like, no.
Koala's over there coming in smelling like weed. I have a story nobody asked for. I'm gonna tell you.
I love it.
So I enjoy gambling. I used to
Really?
So I'm gonna share this. So when I first moved to California, which was like 10 years ago, I had moved here to live with a friend, and quickly that friendship, so she went through my phone to get a dude's phone number that I was going out with, and I couldn't trust the person after that.
Yeah,
and
no,
we lived
fuck that
together,
bitch.
so I was like, I just can't. Now I
can't even live with you.
Literally,
Fuck that
I can't
bitch.
live. So I needed to get out of that, and so my mom gave me an emergency credit card and helped me get into an apartment, and so I got some debt under my belt with that. And as a person who doesn't have any student debt or credit card debt or anything, I was like,
It's me with my car. I'm like, you could build your credit to pay it off monthly. I'm like, look at the debt.
like what? So my friends, they would. A couple of my friends worked at underground poker games. There's dealers, and so they were like, "Hey, we could probably use another dealer. Let me see." So I learned how to play poker, deal poker, and literally went in there for 6 months. Got out of all my debt, dipped out, but became obsessed with poker. Okay, I was so into it. Because the whole, everything about it was so fascinating to me,
Yeah.
So I started really enjoying gambling, really, a lot, And I only, luckily, I'm in a position where I can financially just be I'm not trying to, I expect not to bring any of this money back. Here's this money that I set aside that I expect to lose.
To have fun with.
It's literally,
fun money
is if
instead
you
of,
were to go rent a boat for 5 hours, I'm going to go gamble for 5 hours. And there's a chance I might get my money back, but I'm not expecting it. Exactly. So I got flown out to Seattle, and there is a casino there, and it's a hotel casino. So I stayed there, and as I stayed there, apparently a lot of people who support me on social media worked at that casino. If you know who I am, you smoke weed.
Literally,
or
you
at
have
some
to.
point you did, or somebody that you know did and
Smokes
forced
weed.
you to what?
Yep.
Yeah. So many people. It was kind of wild. I was actually shocked, but I don't come to Seattle often.
Yeah.
I was there for 3 nights. The second night, so first night, I did my event. I came back, gambled, no problem. Second night, did an event, came back, coming back to gambling, and they refused. They cut me off.
Why?
So I asked them why, because I asked for a drink and it was my first drink, and they said you're cut off, and I was like, no, I think you guys are confusing me with someone else. I haven't had anything to drink yet, completely thinking it's a mistake, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, no, our management told us that we cannot serve you. So I was like, can I speak to your management then? Because I actually don't understand why this is happening, and also I'm staying here.
Literally,
It's
what
not
the
I just
fuck?
came in. Yeah, and I also know I'm not drunk or anything. What's going on? I was very confused.
Shut up, Jupiter. Jupiter. No.
Do you need to open the door?
He needs to be quiet. Hey, Jupiter, please. You're interrupting the podcast.
And so they bring out the manager. They bring out 3 people to talk to me, and they basically tell me that. Do you want me to wait?
I should be fine
Okay.
now.
So they bring out
Here, let's just fucking smoke this.
So they bring out 3 managers to talk to me, and they basically tell me they refuse to serve me because I smell like weed. And they don't want me gambling at their table. They don't want me getting their drinks. They would simply like for me to leave.
What?
And it was so crazy because the night before, I think I put $600 at a table. I just literally it's not like I'm over here it's not like I'm over here winning and taking all you guys' money or something like that, or I'm trying to scam, or I'm counting cards or something.
You're
I'm literally
just trying to have fun.
I couldn't. They refused. They literally called 3 dudes, big ass dudes, management and security that were and the waitress that told me I was cut off. And they were like, ma'am, we're not going to say this again. I was like, I'm just trying to understand what's happening here right now. Like, I'm not, to be honest with you, like, if you make it make sense to me, I'll leave.
Literally.
But like, I'm shocked. And also, like, I'm just like, dude, I literally leave tomorrow. Like, I was just trying to just have a little bit of fun. I, to this day, can't tell you. And the crazy part that was hilarious to me is how many people that work there that asked to take pictures with me and were like, I love your content. And like, dude, I smoke your videos all the time. But I got cut off and couldn't gamble or have any drinks because I smelled like cannabis. And the wild part is we didn't even like hotbox anything or anything like that. Like we had smoked outside like a joint, but that's it. So I don't even know what.
That's crazy because I pretty much always smell like cannabis.
Yeah, me too. That's why
like,
I was
literally,
like, what?
I can't even tell anymore. People are like, you smell like weed. I'm like, do I? I had no idea. Truthfully.
Yeah, I don't know. Strange, but I can't imagine what people go through because I'm a privileged bitch. Like, I'm pretty, I'm white, like, you know, not to be like, but I know the privilege that I have. I understand it. So I can't even imagine the shit that people deal with, like, that are not blessed to be put in these types of environments, to deal with people that are just, like, are so judgmental. And that's on the cannabis route. Like, yep. I hate it here. Have I mentioned that?
Just a little bit.
This world sucks sometimes. There are cool people here and there.
100%,
you know?
Especially ones that smoke weed.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for giving me your time and coming on and sharing all the cannabis and about your life and everything. It's been so much fun.
I appreciate you allowing me to talk as much as I talk.
No, I love it. People literally say that all the time. And I'm like, listen, my show is about interviewing you and what you've been through in your life. I'm here every week. You're new here.
Hi, I'm new.
So for one last time, just let the people know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you online.
Well, my name is Koala Puffs, also known as Angela. You can find me on literally all the platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Snapchat, under Koala Puffs. Or you could go on my website, koalapuffs.com, for all those clickable links and also more information on my 420 accessories that I provide for people.
Hell yeah. And as per usual, I'm Tori 212 Green on all platforms, Tea with Tori podcast on Instagram, and I'll see you crazy spillers next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.